Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience.
Laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
Celebrity A-lister Kevin Hart has finally spoken out about the allegations of him allowing his Caucasian counterpartners, comedians, to degrade and disrespectfully, diabolically attack the black community. And he's on The Breakfast Club at this moment in time, and we're going to dive right into it. If you like this video before I said this, know that you're a true legend, and I truly do appreciate you. If you haven't liked the video yet, please give this video a like, and conversations like these can keep flowing. Let's get right into it.
But our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do. Go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do. It happens every year when they do a roast. It's not new. This isn't a new, it's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
While I'm doing this, I'm going to be trying to break down his deceitful or deceptive ways or how he's trying to position the conversation. Although a lot of people watch these interactions, as me being a host, I understand how to psychologically pivot into situations to stay neutral, which I think is very genius on how he does this thing. And let's just make it clear, I was a Kevin Hart fan. I still am very proud of where he's gone. I still am very proud of his journey and his story. But certain things between this situation, and I know he's trying to protect his situation, his circumstance. No hate, no shade to you, Kevin Hart. I get it. But for the rest of the people that need to be educated and need to be learned, we need to understand the reality of the situation. So don't take this as a threat or a target towards Kevin Hart in any circumstance at all. All right, you got to do what you got to do. I'm just breaking down the reality from where I see it and perceive it. So here we go.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
Good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
Oh, the question is, do you think that Tony went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd? Now, that's a critical situation at this moment in time. I'm going to let it play, but I just want to give it in 2 cents. He has to position himself to be neutral and not play favorites on both sides because of the position that he's in and the network that he's in. So we're going to really be able to psychologically watch his mentality of how he's processing this situation. Let's go.
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like
I just thought that this is very strategical. Look at the strategical, psychological way he handled that. It's Tony. I don't expect less, and I don't expect more. Neutral. Genius. But in reality, it's a chess move.
You're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean, that's why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say this, but I'm going to because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set, or one of the best sets, between Tony and Cheryl, and I would say Naeem had a really strong set.
Naeem had a very strong set. I was laughing out loud at Tony until that joke.
Until the joke.
But not even just that joke. I don't like when people joke about violent, tragic death. I like Pete's set, and then I was like, why you had to say anything about Charlie Kirk?
Pete had a great set too. Pete had a Charlie Kirk joke in it.
Yeah.
Like, would I tell those jokes? No. But do I get why they're being told?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like,
Nah, I'm not. I'm gonna keep it real with you, gang. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Nah, I'm not hearing it. You know that you opening up. Let's stop trying to be politically correct when we talk about these particular situations. You know that there was a specific agenda on the reason why he made that joke and felt comfortable to be able to say that situation. And you know that it was master. Sorry, I hate using these terminologies, but saying, I could see it in his face when he made the video, when he was saying the joke. He was like, he probably said, I'm gonna say a George Floyd's joke. And everyone's like, nah, you're not gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna do this? Are you that culturally insensitive to sit down and allow them to be able to do that? Which is all right. If you cool, you want to say it's all comedy and stuff like that. Certain things is not funny, Kevin. Certain things is not funny. If you guys agree, comment true. Certain things is not funny. George Floyd is a regular, degular person who got popular notoriety based off his untimely execution, some might say, allegedly. How can you joke about somebody being unalive in real time that's not even like a regular person, bro. And how can you use that as a point of reference, knowing that it's a generalization or marginalization to degrade a whole group of people? And you're sitting here knowing that there's no acting or implying or trying to subsidize the situation like it wasn't a hidden agenda under that. Bro, we knew, like, everybody knew, like, bro, why are you making that joke about a regular person? Because it was a hidden agenda behind that and you let it rock. But okay, I'm gonna get my thoughts and feedback at the end.
I'm not looking at Pete crazy. I'm not looking at Tony crazy. Like, that's what, I know what you're going to do. I know your style of comedy.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother?
No.
So he said
no shot to you.
No, that's good.
I'm never watching
that. That's fine.
I just want to be clear. I'm never watching that. Like,
I only brought it up.
Even now that you told me, I'm not going to go back and go look at that interview.
What? So hold on, you're getting backlash because you made you allowed an insensitive statement to be broadcasted on national Netflix series, which went international, which you allowed these particular people into the Black American community experience by bringing multiple different people who we co-sign to be up to that particular part. And you allowed these people to sit down and play in our faces. And then you sit down and say, oh yeah, Pete made a Charlie Kirk reference. Charlie Kirk is a public figure. You know what I mean? Charlie Kirk is a public figure who talks about a lot of different things. George Floyd is a regular person, gang. He's a regular person. He wasn't a content creator. He was an influencer. He was a regular person. For somebody to be grabbing the unaliving of a regular person is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Like, how you could do that. It's like a civilian, bro. But then somebody says, oh, okay, so have you seen what I did, the interview? No, and I'm never, why wouldn't you watch that, bro? Why wouldn't you watch that at all? You give your opinion. You give your opinion. I'm not saying anything else. I'm gonna get my thoughts at the end.
Because he's a fan.
But I just want to make it clear so you understand what I do with my time. Like, I'm never doing that. Okay, go ahead.
I just asked because he's a fan of you. Mm-hmm. He saw the joke and it picked up pretty big. So I didn't know if you saw it, but he basically said, like, as a fan of you and knowing that you came to the funeral to support his family, even though it's a roast and Tony, that's what he does, they expected you to kind of be the person that would, like, stop it right in the moment or just not allow for certain things to happen.
And he also said he wanted you to come harder. He said if they're going to joke, why you ain't come harder with your own jokes?
All right.
Hold on. Stop. I said I'm gonna give my thoughts at the end, but hold on. I didn't know that Kevin Hart went to the funeral. I didn't know you went to the funeral of this person. And just pay attention to what's like, this is what I'm hearing. You went to the funeral of George Floyd or something like that. I don't know the details on that, but that's what I heard right now. Homeboy makes a racist, derogatory remark about the person you went to the funeral on dead homies. As the people from the West Coast say, on your dead homies. Then they do an interview. She does an interview with the brother of that person. And then you say, I'm never watching that. Nope, I didn't see it and I never. What? Let's see his response.
Racist jokes, I guess.
This is actually a good thing to give a rebuttal to.
See,
They talked about my dead mom and my dead dad. Said that they were running a train on my mom in
that
heaven.
Was hilarious.
Right?
It was
that
double
was
entendre.
crazy. Yeah, that was Regina killed that.
Right?
Yes,
oh wait, that's right. You probably should say killed that.
The jokes about Kevin was on a slave ship in a bottle with like the ship in the bottle. Like, I'm going to appreciate humor. I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. The more is what? Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like,
yes, it's your production. So we expect you, and I'm just gonna be real. Yes, I expect you to do the things that we could not do in other productions that weren't from us. Yes, it's your production, gang. Yeah. I expect you to say, hold on, shut that down, cut that out. I don't know what you think this is, but now you in my house, this is how we run things. You can't sit up here and have these black ass jokes, black ass culture, excuse my language, and do all this stuff, but not have the code of conduct of the black experience. If it's a Kevin Hart experience, okay, and Kevin Hart is bringing the black community, he's always associated himself with the black community. He's always been around the community. He's always been a part of it. Cool. Then why, when it comes out to somebody stepping out of line on some other stuff, you not pulling the same type of energy, gang? Me and my thoughts and opinions at the end.
Or have a reaction like Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey man, fuck that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh man, the motherfuckers, they do this and
because you brung them to the cookout. That's the reason why. You allowed these people to come into our spaces and get us to sit down and watch these people and bring it to our spaces at this moment in time. All of these other award shows and roasts and stuff like that, black people don't be watching that stuff. We came up and we showed out. You popped out. You had your thing. We backed you. We came into the building to bring the chicken, to bring the seasoning and stuff like that. And everybody know that we in the building watching, and you allowed them to do that. That's why. If you wanted to play by the same rules, then why they do it? Why not let the same masters do it then, gang? That's how I feel. Why not? If that's the situation, like, I ain't coming to this cookout no more. I ain't coming. And I know what y'all gonna say. Cat Williams was right. We co-signed you. We thought you was family. You brung homies to the cookout and they shot the cookout up. Why am I bringing you to the next cookout?
They're attacking the culture. It doesn't have to be that. It literally is either you're a fan of this level of content or you're not. And if you're not a fan, then you don't watch it. So my last note for all attached to this is very simple, okay? Whatever the headlines or whatever the dialogue is, my rebuttal is simplicity. Remove me from it. I didn't say it. If you are upset that the night went on, that's a different conversation. It's nothing I can do. It's a production. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm going to drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into, like, what? That's not what I agreed to do. That's not the job at hand.
No, I don't want you to fight him after it at all. No, I don't want you to pull him off. I want you to say, this is a Hart production, and we're going to lead with the Hart productions. You're not going to cross any particular lines. That's too crazy. And then that would have went even more viral and would give you even more credibility, and people would have said you had something to stand on, and I respect it.
Job at hand was to produce a successful roast, which I did. I also got the rebuttal. I also got to say shit at the end. What are we dealing with here? I'll say it again. Stop talking as if I said it. So when you say the family and the family's affected, I didn't disrespect the family.
You produced it. What are you talking about? It's your production team. You're sitting down saying, take me out of it. How are we going to take you out of it? You produced it. You created the cookout. You set everything up. You told everybody to come. You said that we're going to be safe. Everything's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We got there and your homies shot it up.
Showed up for the family when it happened. Made sure that the family felt supported. Made sure that all things there were actually cool. Behind the scenes, just as an example, you know the one person that I talked to? And I'm not even going to tell you the conversation. Stephen Jackson.
Oh, I know he caught that.
That's because that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, Stack, let me just call you, man, so I can explain to you, like, the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z. We talked. I get it, Kev. We had a great conversation. But that's what I mean when I say, hey, man, let me call the one person after. And that's before whatever you're talking about. That's immediate. Stack, hey, Tony threw one out there. It's this and this, but you do know that that's what this shit is a roast. But I just want you to know from my side, that man is on his own.
Lead with that, Kev. You should be leading with that the whole time.
Because I don't need to.
People just want to know you can.
I don't fucking need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No. If you open that door, then that's the door that people expect all the time. Why the fuck do I need to do that?
I think it's because of how much the George Floyd situation affected so many people. I think I get what you're saying and how you stand on your business, and I respect you for that.
I'm not talking about standing on business.
Or whatever it is. I think with certain things.
Not say it.
But their pushback is it happened at Kevin Hart's roast. Kevin Hart, who is like, he's like, so many of us support you. You're ours.
They just want to hear you say. Okay, I just want to hear you say what you said today. It's tasteless. You actually reached out to somebody who's considered his family to say, let them know. That's all.
I have the best example. Mm-hmm. If I go to a nightclub and like we're celebrating, right? And 2 people get killed that night at the nightclub. What's the headline?
Kevin Hart's party got shot.
Two people died at Kevin Hart's party, right? People may say, I'm not going to Kevin Hart's party again. Man, you can't go to Kevin Hart's shit. Kevin Hart's shit ain't safe. I ain't fucking with Kev. You heard what happened. I go, but I didn't fucking do it. I didn't even know the people that fucking was shooting. I didn't even know the 2 people that got killed.
Yes, you did. You did know the people that, like, just hold on, let's pause right here. You did. First of all, you didn't go to a party. You set up the party. Second of all, you know the person that was doing the airing the place out. And third of all, you know the person that got cooked. So that's a completely different scenario and situation. I understand, but we're not going to move the goalposts. You knew every single situation. You invited them, gang. But I like that, so let's get back to it. Sorry.
That's the nature of being the name. Your name is attached to things to make things bigger. What is my fucking... I didn't shoot the gun. Why am I arguing and why am I doing interviews after?
Why were they in your party with guns?
But who knows? I don't work the metal detectors. I'm not the security guys. The club does all that. I don't have those answers. You understand what I'm saying? Like the responsibility just it starts to compile as if I'm the one in charge.
You are. It's your production, yo, bro. It's your production, gang. Like, what is going on here? Like, I understand Charlamagne, he's trying to give him some leeway because, you know, that's it, man. They in the same ecosystem. I understand. Like I said, I got no hate for Kevin Hart at all. I'm just thinking about it. Like, this is what's going through my head. It's my first time watching this as well. Okay? Charlamagne's giving some leeway, but giving a little pushback. Shorty was giving pushback, and Kevin Hart cut her off in the middle of the pushback. But hold on, we almost done.
We are not in charge of the dialogue from anybody on that stage.
If Tony calls you right now and says, man, Kev, man, I was out at the comedy club, man. Man, this dude, man, who said he was George Floyd's brother, smacked the shit out of me.
You gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? What the fuck you want me to do? That's the consequences of the shit.
There you go.
So that's that right there, you know? All right, let's break this down real quick. Look, I understand. I think I've already broken it down throughout the whole thing. I was trying not to break it down, but like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to say about this particular situation? I get what you're saying. I know you're trying to protect your position. I understand that. But you're not in charge of the dialogue, which was fine. I understood that particular situation. But you could have stood on business right there and be like, hold on. Like, that was a little crazy right there. You could at least apologize. You know, I know it's a comedy show and we always joke, but that was a wild one right there. You might want to apologize to the family, big fella. And then it would have threw it back to him. And if he would have said no, then it would have been on him. And you did a little bit of something, you know what I mean? And then we were, you gave him a chance. But you didn't even do that. You kept your head down and kept it moving and joked around, laughed on. You and The Rock, The Rock Johnson was a funny skit. I love that experience. That was the best. These milk nipples ain't gonna suck themselves. That was fire. I loved it. You know what I mean? So, but like throughout that process, like, what do you think about this situation? What are your thoughts that are going through this whole scenario or this whole situation? I'm very curious, you know, but I do look at him differently now. I'm not going to lie. You know, like even like when I think about like the characters he played and the stuff he's done, and I wish him all the success and all, and I love his journey. I love his story. I love where he comes from, you know, and where he accomplished to be, because nobody would have thought that Kevin Hart would have become this big of a superstar, you know, and it's inspiring as hell, because when I think of him, he was the least, from my perspective, he was the least likely comedian or actor or in the bottom spot, you know. When I think of him, I think of like, where is Friday, and then he's Ezel, you know what I mean? That's how I always thought of him when I was first seeing Kevin Hart at the beginning, you know, Soul Planes and stuff like that. He was Ezel, you know, like, and he became the biggest star, you know. That was crazy, like one of the biggest stars. So what are your thoughts on this particular situation? Don't go too crash out. Don't go too crazy. Like, you can still have educated conversations, give your opinions. I know I was crashing out. I know I was giving a little, you know, but hey, what are your thoughts? Did you agree with what I had to say? What are your feedback? Let me know. My name's Adonis CrashBoom. If you made it this far into the video, and you haven't commented anything at all, but I want you to stay involved, comment, I like this type of video. I like this type of video. This way I know that you made it to this far in the video, and at the same time you still get to engage with the video, and we build up the engagement, and I can keep making reviews and reactions to stuff like this throughout the process, you know? So yeah, that's just my thoughts and feedback. Always remember, don't only see me one way, and every day.
Yeah, gang, look at who you came.